That was probably for Halloween. Well, for Halloween, I had the wedding dress on. She had the.
She was bride and
She
groom.
was the groom.
I was worried, I thought if I go outside of there, those dogs will appear from somewhere. And they were in the lobby when I went by.
Kids think it's pretty funny, and it
They
is.
were
Not a good
at the
thing.
store.
We're not
What
in the
is
hall,
that
and they're
thing?
not in here. You know, we shut that
Is that
door
Siri?
in the hallway there.
Yep.
It is,
Yeah,
yeah.
we did.
So people like that supposed to come at 6 o'clock.
She said 6:30. Oh. Is dinner at 6? Or is dinner before 6?
We may have dinner before that.
I don't know. Well, glass.
We would have dinner when he's coming in.
People are not gonna be
Christmas
eating while
cards.
we're
We
performing.
just put them up in the curtains.
Is dinner before or after?
She said 6:30.
There's a cat and a dog or what?
You
We're gonna go
guys,
to a Christmas
are
party.
they having the buffet before he comes, or after?
Before.
Before?
6.
Okay. Do you know what's on the buffet?
Is that the wedding?
How much is it?
Is that the wedding? You just gotta
No,
close
we're
down.
going out to a party somewhere.
Oh God, I hope not.
I think it was Mindy wanted a picture.
The corsages were of that day, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was on last night.
Them is us.
Them dogs, them. That was nice. I remember that day pretty well.
Yeah.
I love these people things.
Sports.
Those two and another couple even more years together before, and have their memories. I know. That's what I worry about. Yeah. It was horrible. Oh, Russ has a good memory. And there's a lot of crossroads, that's what keeps his, and she has lots of cousins too. So, I don't know, I think she left it. But the only reason, that didn't change. Oh, good.
The ship.
Frank's gonna get a lot too.
I don't know where the cover went for this thing. There's the back cover on it? No, there's no cover at all.
This is empty. That was good.
Got busted somehow. This is supposed to be 100 years of our history for Sudbury. There's a mistake in it.
Is there-
Uh-oh.
And I wrote a letter to the editor pointing out the mistake.
Did they fix
And they
it?
printed it, it was in the paper. 6 months later, they printed the same article with the same mistake. Never fixed it. It's probably still wrong in their archives. I just have to find which page it's on. Not. Oh, here it is here. On June 5th, 1939, King George VI and Queen Elizabeth visited the city. It was part of the royal tour which saw the King and Queen travel across Canada and the United States. More than 64,000 people welcomed the King and Queen at the Sudbury Airport and on city streets. The airport wasn't built till 1984.
Oh, it'd be hard to do then. It'd be very difficult. That'd be a magic trick.
There'd be a lot of lonely people that are waiting for somebody not going to show
No
up.
plane, no airport.
And the picture beside it shows them beside a train, not an
How dumb is
airplane.
that?
Okay?
Are they good? They're made out of vegetables. Oh.
The Queen became the first woman to go underground at the mines.
Oh my gosh.
Or is there something else here, I think? Well, Queen's Athletic Field was named in their honor during their 4-hour visit to Queen became the first woman to go underground when she and the king visited food mine. There's something in here somewhere about the limousine that they traveled in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was thinking it was a Lincoln, but it wasn't. It was Hudson, I think it was. But anyway, it got scratched during the transit, and it was a special royal color.
Purple.
And guess who fixed the scratch?
I know. Didn't we have paint? Some of the paint coming around for a long time?
What?
Didn't we have a little container of the paint around for a long
She's
time?
5 days over.
Could be.
Oh
But
my
Dad,
gosh.
Dad, I remember
I think it's 5 days.
I saw them
with the baby.
come back to pick it up, or not pick it up,
Scrubbing the floor on her.
just after he touched it up, and they said, that's a way too late. And he says, come back in an hour. So they came back in an hour, they couldn't find it.
Then I let you go now.
After it dried or darkened
Yeah.
to the right color.
10 days I'll let you go. Is it her first baby?
And they couldn't supply the original paint, he had to do it from,
First baby's often her late.
About
was up there?
disability, yeah.
yeah. So there's a lot of interesting stuff in that too.
There is.
Prints with fine, it's hard to.
Suppose you get your due date, then they make you.
Teacher strike settled.
Why would
Huh?
they do that?
Teacher strike was settled.
Yeah.
They've been doing that forever, striking.
Oh, yeah. And it doesn't matter what government's in control, they treat them all the same. Now you got the NDP right now backing the teachers' unions, but when they're in power, they're the worst ones to deal with the school board, or the
Yeah,
teachers.
the opposition is
Oh,
always.
they're really,
Special insurance.
they bring this out for. Oh, I know. This was my neck operation, but that's just
Or the head's almost popped out.
that isn't the reason I brought it. There's got something else in here.
Nice handwriting.
Birth certificate,
Really good.
Margaret Jane Stubbs,
Things like that.
They're good.
December 23rd, 1902.
I like them a lot.
But, you know,
They'd be better dipped in bread.
two, they had,
Put it on there twice.
The befront.
Oh, I just want to make sure I have it right again. Well, this is something you sent me,
Yeah.
but some of the,
Certificate. Family down. Yeah.
yeah.
Nothing hot, nothing like.
We could go on from there.
Yeah, there's more here. And here.
Well, who's coming? Do they know?
For me, I was closer to my father in the early years. I'm always from a strict Scotch background. Okay,
Are we supposed to be buying a ticket?
we know all about
She
that.
told me I could just take.
Oh, this is something I stuck in, just trying to find out exactly where Grandma Struther was born. Marshall, Howland Township, but you can't find Howland Township on a modern map.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. But it's part of this township of Sigonak. Oh no, that's wrong. This one, northwestern Manitoulin and the islands. So she was born somewhere in this area. And little currents in that area too. So I just did this a few days ago. This is not the same. And Manitoulin Island again, more detail. And that's an explanation.
I've never seen that.
Northeastern Manitoulin and the islands is a municipality with town status in Manitoulin District in northeastern Ontario, Canada. Espanola got all that in there. The town was created on January 1st, 1998 by amalgamating the town of Little Current with the township of Howland. So that's where I found that they were. And it's hard to pinpoint exactly where she was born because that's quite a large area.
Grandma. She'd need the money to
You
know.
went into it, you did a lot on that.
Tom was saying,
References,
that was their reserve data fund.
there's something else in here too. Oh, more.
What?
I put a lot in here the other day, more than I thought it was.
I think she is, because there's pictures of her, of her mother, and she's native.
Ross, you would have made a good historian. You would have been a good historian.
Yeah.
You think so?
Franklin did it, there's no.
You know, got this in here too.
In her.
So.
Nice Manitoulin. I got it in backwards, it's in the wrong way. This one's in the wrong way too.
Upside down. Who
Oh, there
cares?
it is. There's Manitoulin. How did it get out of the,
So if you go on.
I lost the hold.
Go to the wrong you wrong one, you.
Yeah.
It came somewhere from in there.
That should be, the reason
You
is,
know what, maybe like that,
I was trying to figure out where her grandmother was born on Manitoulin Island,
You're kidding.
yeah, so it must be her
just as
mother's
Howland Township,
family side.
but there, it doesn't exist anymore,
Yeah,
because it's been
so-
amalgamated with another zone, and
Yeah,
it's,
Nigeria.
now it's northeastern
2% or 5%.
township or something,
Wow.
or another certificate of birth. Frank Chapman, sex, boy, date of birth, 10th of June, 1901. Registration district, West Ham, sub-district, East Ham.
Last time in.
England, old boy.
England.
I, Clarence William Smith, Superintendent Registrar for the Registration District of East Ham, do hereby certify that the above particulars have been compiled for an entry in a register in my custody. 14th day of May, 1957. That's a long time in between, isn't it? In loving memory of Frank Chapman, 79 years. He's in his 80th year. Yeah.
Was it 79th year? So he'd be 78, wouldn't he? Wasn't he 78?
You know, this is something you sent me. It's an excerpt from the book.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have the book. I can't find it. I'm looking for it because there's something I wanted to ask you.
I don't think Ross truest many things.
Nope.
No, exactly.
This is a
That's like great.
What's
Yeah,
that?
family.
Different terms. This is not important. Down among the fairies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is where one of your schools on your list is a little bit off. Because this is March 22nd, 1941.
I wonder
And-
what I might not really remember.
Presented by pupils of King George VI School, and that's 1941. So on your list, I think you had King George School a different year.
I'm like, oh, okay.
And it's got a list of the characters here. I was an almost good elf by the name of Feather.
Feather. Yeah.
It fits.
Eh?
It fits.
So I was in show business at a pretty early age. I was 9 years old then.
Yeah.
And there's when I tried out for Wonder Life. Maybe that's where that picture came from.
With this stuff, too, so you could have it as yeah.
The tie looks the same.
Because she likes it.
That's about the right time period.
Daughters are always.
Could be. That was in 1962. So I was 30 years old. I said 30. Oh, my famous bowling. Oh, I was really hot. I used to bowl in the major league in Sudbury.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They were just almost professional, really, because we didn't pay for our bowling. We were supplied with shirts. Our traveling was paid for because we bowled in different laneways. Our prize money was, I don't know where it came from, but from sponsors.
Yeah, that's pro, that's pro.
So, yeah, I just had some of my scores. What did I do on this one? Ohio single? No, that wasn't me. Ross Chapman on tip tops rolled a 776 triple and a 368 single. Pretty good. Scoring system. We got the scoring system from back down here too.
Isn't
was
400 a perfect game?
450.
450? You got
There's
360?
5 pin and 10 pin.
10 pin.
The 5 is 5 pin.
Yeah. But the left corner pin, back then, if you didn't get it, you got no points.
Sorry.
If that's your
And-
left up, you got nothing.
The head pin was worth 1, so if you picked the head pin, you just got 1 extra point. Now it's 5. They've changed the count. Head pin is now 5 points. But 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. Oh yeah, okay. And anyway, the score now still adds up to 15 for a frame. Oh, this was a first tournament I was ever in.
It does keep everything.
My score was higher than the guy that actually won.
How'd that happen?
Because it was over 3 weeks, and they took the top bowlers in one section, mid-range in another, and lower. I was in the B. I ended up in the middle division because I started off pretty bad.
Because our house is.
And then the guy in my division that won it, he went nuts. He rolled over 1,400 triple. The guy that won it, oh, it was a triplets for 5 games, so you had to bowl 5 games at a time.
Tons of stuff.
I thought I had 1265. Oh yeah, 1265. And I won $10. So
What year is that?
I don't know. I think it was 55, 56, somewhere in there.
Like a kid.
Imagine the bowling.
Best single of the
Scores
night
being
here
printed
was,
in the paper.
yeah, best single of the night. Me. 337. I brought that. There was one team here that really, I remember their total for one game was over 1,500. That's an average of 300 or higher for each bowler. I had to be over 300.
That's
That, you never hear of that.
pretty high.
We had a hotshot bowler here who thought he still thinks he's the best in the world. But I showed him this article. I said, now that's when people can bowl. And I bowled in that league. So you don't tell me how to bowl. 1522.
1522.
Yeah, that's average over 300 per bowler for the one game. That's not quite a game.
Bowling was something where you get a hot streak. You just seem to be able to get that ball down there. Ally.
Ally.
Well, how's my brother, it says here.
Frank will get rid of
What happened to your appointment?
Is that me?
Yes.
I always call him my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A message from you and I put it in here. What else we got here? Well, I still got more bags over there. I don't think we'll get through them all. What do you think? That's the book I was telling you about that Shannon gave me that I was supposed to write. Dad, tell me your story.
Oh, yeah. How much have you got done?
Not very much.
it. Oh, no, he just like, I didn't make that as a priority.
We got started.
Yeah.
Before I came along. Okay, I wrote. I've got that all. What was your most memorable family vacation growing up? I don't know. Had so many of them.
Going to Peterborough.
Hey?
Going to Peterborough the first time we went. We hadn't been away from Sudbury.
Do you have a nickname? Or did you have a nickname growing up? Chisel Beans. That was my nickname. I don't know where it came from.
Oh, she doesn't make my stocking.
You don't make those?
Not the stocking.
No, I just personalized it. If you,
I
We
got it
were
on
your best friends when you were a kid, so I was with
I
you.
get it online.
Even Tommy McGovern, remember him?
Get them online.
Well, it's Tommy McGovern, and he was supposed to be the tough guy in the neighborhood when we lived on Lake Shore, but he was hardly ever home. And all the guys there thought that I was the tough guy. Nobody challenged me, nobody ever challenged me. But they kept threatening me with, when this Tommy gets back, he's gonna beat the hell out of you. Well, one night I was just out for a walk with the dog or something. I bumped into this guy and we started talking. It was him. And we became quite good friends. So the next day, all we knew what was going on. We took our jackets off, get ready to fight. And I was like, oh, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And what? Over, game over. Hugged and said. Well, we danced around a little bit first, and just felt like, hey, we're gonna fight. What fell out of there?
That's funny.
But he died pretty young too. That's other friends. I just wrote, these are notes of friends that I was gonna put in there.
Stars and celebrities that I have met or encountered.
They're not all there either.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
George
One that really
Bell
surprised me
Brooks.
is Christopher Plummer. I spent about half a day with him when he was promoting one of his movies. And he's still going strong.
He's a smart guy.
He's about 90 years old and he's still going strong.
Sigourney Weaver.
He's got a new movie coming out. Sigourney Weaver, yeah. Met her.
Colbert.
Tall. Yeah,
Gene Kelly.
she wore
Penny
flat heel shoes and she was
Christopher Plummer, Julie
Tyra.
Andrews, Lincoln. Telly Savalas, was he tall?
right?
Telly Savalas.
Yeah. I had a couple of beers with him in Los Angeles. I was sitting at the bar. Why I was sitting there, but anyway, for a beer, I guess. And this big burly guy comes and sits next to me. It was him. Well, we were chatting for a while, and he got the bartender to hand him the phone. He phoned his agent in London, England, and did he give him a blast? When he finally got off, he says, "He's the bastard messed up. There was a role I wanted, and he didn't get it for me. So I'm going to fire him." He wasn't very happy with this guy at all. Anyway, he lived in the hotel we were having our meetings in. And his brother Stavros, the one with the bushy hair,
Yeah.
and his mother. She was in a wheelchair. She was a big, hefty woman too.
She lived there too?
They had a suite there. They lived in the suite, the hotel. That's only part of it. There's that's just one picture there. You recognize any of the sports celebrities? I talked to all of them too. I took a special Olympics athlete from
Oh,
here
yeah.
down to Toronto to the sportsman
Yeah.
show. Their names are on the back.
I recognize him.
If I can get,
There's one there that looks really black. You can't see the guy.
I recognize him.
His name is Pinball Clemens. He's black as can be, and the background is black. You can't even see him.
Pinball Clemens.
Played for the Ardwas.
Pardon.
Boy, he was the guest speaker at this deal. And oh, he was funny. He was really good.
They're really great, eh? The athletes are great.
Yeah.
The Special Olympics.
Drive it. They didn't ask me for a license. So then I learned how to drive. Because I needed a job. But my daughter doesn't drive. She's 38.
so I was thinking for my ornaments, that I didn't want to pick one or whatever. I know it's
Some of those went in the paper here, a local paper too.
or $5 if you want just a little.
Of course, I provided the full photos and they.
Personalizing is.
I recognize most of them. I recognize most of them.
Frank
Yeah.
doesn't even She's scared.
You recognize the sports announcer too? I didn't write his name on the boys, I did. Jerry Howard. Blue Jays.
Because it was foggy and
I talked to him, I told him that when I watched the ball games on TV, I said I put on the radio and turned their audio off. Because you give a hell of a lot better description of what was going on than they did. He says, well, thank you for that.
Jerry? Yeah. He was really good.
It was true, I did back then too. Because they used to carry the ball games on the local radio station. But they don't anymore. This guy here, a race car driver, Scott Goodyear. I sat in his car
Did you?
in Toronto a few years before that, a few years back. The Toronto Sun used to send invitations for the local Indy race. Well, I got the tickets.
but not very much.
It wasn't the actual race, but it was like the open house to meet
She might be,
the drivers and mechanics and
but not
all that
severe.
stuff.
Like not like before.
And I got a thank you note. Thank you, Ross. Donald. He died a few years ago.
Who's that?
Heart condition.
I couldn't even teach.
Donald.
'Cause I had
Menu. Yes. We had Halloween. At Halloween, we got him dressed up. He's always
sitting in a chair and I was teaching
he's
them.
pretty good.
Yeah, very good.
And when I stood up, I was like, so I sat right back down in the chair because I thought the kids will see this and they'll be scared.
And his sister,
One of the kids came
before he went away, she's
the secretary.
he likes to have a beer before he goes to bed. So I got some beer in him.
Took the kids out of the room and then they brought me my
We
coat.
had our bottle of beer together before we went to bed. It was nice.
She doesn't feel well. I didn't want to get up and.
So Donald isn't, and he's in all these pictures except the one with one pinball going on. I don't think it's in that one. Oh, this is all the stuff from Bernardo's homes, the stuff they sent me. The reports.
About your dad?
Hey?
About your dad?
Yeah, about conditions of where they lived and all that. Alcoholics.
in February.
It starts out on the 9th of June 1907. This illegitimate boy's brother Clifford was admitted to the homes. So this is talking about my dad. Illegitimate.
So you get two of them that have to share the same.
There's a movie made of an actual person, a woman in the States who used to run orphanages. And she was trying to get a change in the law. Actually, they were trying to change the law to make it harder to live for illegitimate.
This is Sarah, she works
And she stood up in front of this Congress and she said, there's no such thing as an illegitimate child, just illegitimate parents. They changed the law. She, whatever it was, I forget how. They made a movie of it. And, it's based on a fact, so she did say that.
I can't do it, like never again. Like you're done.
Yeah, they go there.
No.
What are you reading about, Mother?
Right?
What are you reading about?
It depends on the day though.
Ross's
It depends, like right now.
writing from his early years.
So like if I have.
Oh, is that in there?
Is this your first? And it's this
Yeah, my second was
Well, that's not good. I think I told you about it already, where I said something
And
about
obviously
being
she's not
conceived.
working hard, she's working like, whatever. How many days now? Saturday? She's, yeah, I'm 5 days over.
Wow.
Oh, well.
Who's delivering it, Dr. Mike?
No, I have a midwife.
Oh, you have a
Oh,
midwife.
good.
And we make her do like jumping jacks in the kitchen.
And it's not working.
Not working?
You have to make her get down on her hands and knees and stuff. That works.
I thought that's true.
Well, good luck.
Your relay race.
Is the writing any good? I got
You
changed.
have a
midwife?
I went to school and found out that.
Well, I'm gonna
You
go to the
did-
hospital and
you
have the
did.
baby still.
Yeah, there, yeah.
You think you were
So she'll go
wrong.
over the
That's
house
the
first.
way it
and
came
then-
from your mind.
When
She
you're
said
ready,
it's time to
go.
go,
At
it's time to go.
precisely the right moment, I stepped to the
Oh, I
left.
thought
Is this your
you
first
had
And
a
then
baby.
Mr. Shoveler
Because Shannon had to
ran,
deliver
went flying down the
No, she
hill. He
delivered
never
it, but
bothered
I
me
don't have
again
to go all the time, because they told
It
you not to
does.
deliver
until the
babies
incident
unless
after
it's
the
emergency.
relay
No,
race.
there was probably no OB
Left
staff
red
on,
face.
Oh.
so she was
Left red
probably
face.
shipped out because there wasn't enough staffing. So that's what's
Is that
happening,
something
like
we
for this Thursday, from
Huh?
7 AM to 7 PM, and the
Oh,
Friday
that
at
was
the same
right.
times, because there's nobody on staff.
Oh.
But if I
The
go in
very
the
early,
evening, I'm fine.
very early
Then
years.
wait till the evening.
It all began when I was
She was
conceived, and I
like,
don't
yeah.
remember anything about that.
Is this your first baby?
No, this is my third.
Third baby?
Yeah.
Are they all late?
So
No,
we
my
got
first
two
was a
girls.
day early, and then my second was 9 days late, and then this one is so far 5 days.
So do you have
This is
Boys
my
and
third
girls?
girl.
third
Third
girl?
girl, so.
Then your husband will be very successful.
I guess I've been able to make
They
people.
say
Well,
a
you
man
should
with
make a
3
boy.
daughters will be very successful.
Puppy.
Oh, really?
Was reading.
It's an attack dog, be careful.
Oh, I'm so tactful. Big licky baby. Perfect. Well, I'm gonna get back to work. It was nice meeting you all.
Yeah.
Meeting you.
Do you remember Mama saying the alphabet backwards?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She could say the alphabet backwards and then we could say it forwards.
Really?
I remember watching her rolling, counting and rolling coins. She was faster than any teller I've ever seen in a bank.
Take the dog.
How come we
She
have
was
so many
good at
pennies?
it, eh?
Why did we have so many pennies? I can't figure that out.
Eh?
Why did we have so many pennies?
Oh, I don't know, I think we just threw them in a jar or something. And then at the end of the year, she'd roll them.
That's when pennies were worth a penny.
Doc.
That's how I learned when I was doing it
was-
at church. I had
It was 2 at a time, not one.
Back to you.
That's why I did it with paper. That's how I learned with paper.
Well, my parents lived in Buffalo, New York for a short time, and that's where my brother Dick was born. I arrived after they moved back to Toronto.
Rock Coffee House.
Do you
Oh
keep
yeah,
all
and
the
I
papers?
mentioned blueberry picking too. Kinda she picked blueberries
Willie,
fast.
Willa, come here for a minute, please. Can you come here for a minute?
I'm gonna feed her supper,
Come here.
and I'll come back.
He's coming.
Here, my girl.
You want me to grab that?
Yes, 'cause it's too. Here,
Oh,
here's another cup.
I was,
That's a lot of
this is
photos.
for,
I know, right?
for
A
that
lot of
chair
memories,
from Queen
eh?
Elizabeth. Queen Mother.
Okay, I hope
I remember that too.
Oh, you couldn't remember this,
Thank you,
was a
sweetie.
restaurant before.
But I remember them coming
Oh, you remember them coming, yeah.
separate.
But
But
I
that was
had Lincoln limousine, but it's not Lincoln, I gotta check that out and get the right, good correction there.
well, who other else had limousines?
Oh, I gotta change that, I got 8 years old, should be 9. Yeah, I remember struggling with math, and remember Earl Cartwright, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice. He was a
It's
really
true, I
nice
went
person.
from worst to
Yeah.
first. I remember the shocked look on the teacher's face when I finished the exam, and I was the first one up there and handed it to her. And the one before that, I never even finished it. So. And then the next day she gave them back to us and she used to read off. That's to worst. And instead of me being the last one, I was the first one.
Yeah.
My
I wonder why they
math was
did
perfect.
that. They did a lot of that in those days, didn't they?
I didn't mind it when I was higher.
No.
It'd be fourth, fifth, top 10, I was happy.
And not everybody was able, and I found that with like Brian, he could not write on paper. Like that was not his forte,
Yeah.
but he knew everything.
Yeah, if you say it's slow, it's fine. But if you say it angrily,
I gotta fix this too. His last name was Hines, but it wasn't spelled that way. It's Hines. I got Heinz. The school had a reunion a few years ago in Sudbury. And I couldn't get to it, but I stopped in a couple of days before the reunion. And this, mentioning this hill here, that's where that hill was, that's the school. Because I saw, when I was leaving it, the hill would drop down pretty fast. And I remember seeing his shadow coming up behind me, and I just knew it was him. And the last second, I stepped aside and he went flying down the hill.
I know exactly where that was.
Yeah. And the relay race, that was funny too.
My stomach says it's almost supper time.
I'm not even hungry, but I'll try to eat something anyway. Oh, this was the remarks by the medical officer. Vermin bitten, scabies. Scabies? Scabies?
Yeah.
Scabies, I guess it is.
Vermin bitten, doesn't that give you the creeps?
Hmm?
Vermin bitten, doesn't that get you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The maternal uncle Albert mentioned above has married since Clifford's admission. It is said that the maternal grandfather gets plenty of work, but he and his wife are drunkards. It was also stated that the mother had confessed to a friend that the maternal grandfather was the putative father of Frank. As he was a putative father of an illegitimate child of the maternal aunt, Mrs. Smith. Frank is said to be healthy.
We didn't talk much about the early years, but if he did, he didn't seem to have a lot of resentment.
Who?
Dad?
No. They're relatives. This is funny. Mother Annie Chapman, age 31, no occupation, lives with parents, 123 Wakefield Street, Eastham. Brother Clifford, age 9, inmate of these homes. Inmate? Half brother Arthur, illegitimate with mother. So he's age 11 there. Grandparents, maternal, James Chapman, 67, painter and decorator, and Jane Chapman, age 63. Yeah, same address. That'll help me put, I forgot about this. That'll help me put some stuff together that I've been working on. Some of the old pictures. I never thought of referring to this. It's good. Can't read that. There's some of the stuff they sent me is very difficult to read. But this is Dad's handwriting.
Yeah, that's he wrote,
And
yeah.
it's signed by him. Yeah, nice handwriting. It's easy to read. Yeah, well, it's anyway.
You should probably try to take the time and write that out,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember sending you copies of that.
Yeah.
It's the original envelope.
Methodist, mother's Methodist.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Drop that in case I might need it. Some medicine.
3 feet 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters. Is that the,
Pardon?
is that inches or centimeters? Must be inches.
Height 3 feet 2 inches.
Yeah. 32 pounds.
No, that's just about Bernardo children. I'm gonna stick this one in for. Must be a reason.
Don was being born June the 9th.
Hmm?
Born June the 9th,
Yeah.
but we celebrated on the 10th. See, mine was the 9th and his was the 10th.
When's your birthday?
On the 9th,
Yeah, his is the 10th.
yeah, and his was the 10th, so.
I just had his birth certificate here, or, and it's the June 10th. So that's a mistake. June 10th, 1902. No, 1901. Sorry, my mom was 1902.
I thought she was older.
No, she's younger than that. Just had a shorter life.
He sailed on the 14th of June. Is that Tunisian, I suppose. That says Tunisian, landing at Quebec. And I can remember that Dad had another brother who went to Australia, but
Hmm?
I said, I thought Dad had another brother who went to Australia.
Another brother?
Yeah, he had another brother that went to Australia. Said with regard to member relatives being sent to Australia, Bernarders did not start immigrating to Australia until 1926. And there's no record. Yeah. Did you ever get any more of the books?
That's Clifford.
Yeah, yeah.
I sent a copy of that to Frank in Peterborough. I gave the address, contacted Bernardo Holmes for more information. So he probably did. I haven't heard from him for quite a while, and it's almost 2 years now. We went over to his place for a short visit, down that way, and Ted and his wife came over. Ted didn't stay too long. He was in the early stages of Alzheimer's, but he was struggling with it then, even then. So I haven't heard any more. Whether he's alive or not, he might have passed away by now. But him and I were pretty close to the same age. And Frank is.
He's described as
He's
smart, active, and
over
intelligent.
90
Yeah.
now too, I think.
Well, look, how old are we?
Hmm?
How old are we? We're getting up close.
Yeah.
I can't read this. 25/15. Mr. or Mrs. Owen under date 11/5/15 thinks there must be as last the boy's mother was in Montreal and was agitating for the boys. Something related to her.
Fall asleep there. This is my nap time. Get Dean over at our place about this time when I start dozing off. He's, Papa, wake up, wake up!
Papa, wake up.
Papa. I love that.
All that stuff has to go in that beat up old envelope there.
Chippewa, Ontario. Where's Chippewa?
Hmm?
Chippewa, Ontario.
Yeah.
Like Chippewa is an Indian reserve. Last report of him was in 1942, when it was reported that he was at N32 Canadian Basic Training Center, Peterborough, Ontario, with the rank of corporal. Number C242756. I hope they acknowledge them, or you, whoever.
Hmm?
I hope they ask for acknowledgement of getting the material, so.
Pretty quiet tonight, nobody here.
They're in the kitchen. Getting us a good supper. Better be, my tummy's empty. Better be, like, sounds like I'm really,
Wish we could read that one, it's really hard to see.
What I miss?
I was trying to read that. Oh my goodness, you want me to try to read it?
Dear everybody,
Who wrote it?
it's been
I thought he was writing back to
2
Linda.
weeks, though, I do not know the children, but hope it reached, yes. It'd be nice to have a pencil and try to join all the
Yeah.
letters. I bet you could. Hope everybody good health. Oh, hope everybody's in good health. I wish by return when I could still, no, something about my birth certificate. Age, and then it says 26 years, not quite sure. Sailing date June the 6th, 1912. See, if you had a pencil, you could join this together, right? This is way better to read. Dear Mr. Hade, in reply to your very good letter, which I received the other day, and the papers and up and down are fine, the scheme for getting money is pretty good. I will try to get some money gathered up for sure, though home from around about here. Mr. Hattie, I would like to know if you would find out, or if you could know to tell me if this show card writing is preferable. I can do good work in that kind of business, as I like drawing and writing. Hoping you are well, I remain yours truly. Is it a T Chapman?
FAC.
F-A-C. F.A. Chapman. Mr. Frank Chapman. Yeah, I can read this one a lot better than this one.
This is March the 6th, 1922.
Oh my goodness. Your birthday, Frank, way in advance. March the 6th, 1922. Dear Mr. Hadday, I received your most welcome letter and official receipt, thanking me for the donation of $5 towards the memorial fund. I think the house purchased for the purpose is fine, and I hope it will be satisfactory. I give with all my heart the donation. It is not very large, but if all would give only $5, Mount up.
True that.
To Mount up. I think Mr. Hadday, if a good plan to get money from those not able to give, be carried some, make a plea for every Bernardo, boy and girl, to send 10 cents each, and everyone that sent it to receive a pin. That was spoken of a year or so ago. I think you could receive a good large sum. Coming amount could be sent in stamps for surety in mails, in the mail. I have a question to ask you, and this is what it is. When will I be able to get my money from the bank, and do I have to send my bank books to you to receive my money? Please write soon. I will
Now close.
now close. Hoping you and your Mrs. Habiday are well, and the staff are well and going strong. From one of your boys, Frank A. Chapman. And then it says Mrs. P.S. Mrs. Habiday, will you please send me some English paper? The mirror are, what's this say? Some papers. Wishing you all the best of health and remain yours sincerely, F.A.C. It's got beautiful writing.
Did that home owe him money?
I don't know, must
It was
be.
government money.
Yeah, because it says, when will I get my money? Do I have to send my bank?
Yeah, I think he
Visiting
worked.
with other people,
Yeah, I
or?
think so. He had money coming to him from Boy's home.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like.
How are you folks? Good. Are you comfortable
Yeah, his
sitting
writing is easy to
like
read. I
at a
mean,
group
it's nice
table
and
of other people?
It's
you may
beautiful
not know?
writing.
Okay, awesome.
You can tell he's artistic by his script.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And he didn't write slow either.
No,
Or there's
it's beautiful.
also that one.
There's a real dog.
Yep.
It's a Pomeranian.
Yeah.
What's the name of that dog?
Corky.
Corky.
He died of a heart attack.
Aww. Frank, you should go get your mom's walker. Whose other walker is that?
Ross's.
Ross's. Good. They got them parked there, the two of them, right? Got your-
Maybe we should
got
go
your
to your
parking-
room and finish this, because we're starting now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we will.
That's enough.
We can leave it here and eat dinner. And then, maybe we should carry this back to the
Yeah.
room. Although no one's gonna touch it.
The dog guests coming in now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna eat dinner.
I said she was gonna make me a piece of toast before we left, and instead she made 2 pieces and she put a big gob of peanut butter on it.
I love peanut
that
butter.
thick. And then I still feel like I'm not very hungry. But I will force myself.
All right. Should we carry this to our room first? All this?
You wanna keep this here, cause you're gonna videotape that guy a bit?
No, I'm not gonna videotape that guy.
Leave
I'm
here.
just gonna do a
Leave
little
that
bit
here.
on my phone.
Nancy,
What?
leave that here.
We were
Then
gonna
we
put
can
it
take
in